Well, this is a different microphone, so we're going. Well, this is a different skibbity microphone. Skibbity microphone. Nah, this. Yeah. It's so hot that I'm not able to do almost anything. It's so hot. My car got. Not, it was my card. It was like my phone got declared, and I haven't found my credit card. No, not my credit card. It's my debit. I haven't found my debit card for the past 3 days, so I just like fuck it, let's just wing it with the phone payments, and yeah, and I just get like, oh, haven't you like bought like a bunch of frozen pizza? I didn't buy anything from. I drove like 10 minutes to a store, got my car declined, no, my phone declined, and then I didn't do anything. I just went back. I just went back home, and I was like, why did you waste so much time and energy on that? Like, I'm bored. I was like, why can't you just drink? I don't like to drink. That's the problem. It's like I'm an anti-drinker, and everyone's like pissing on me for it. You're not the victim. You're not the victim. Stop complaining. Okay. Hello. Hello. Welcome to Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Oh, why you? I don't know. It's like a pile of clothing there. Since I did that shirt video, and I don't know. I like the problem is that like even if I do like, there's so much complaining now, and it's like, dude, like, what is there to do in this decade besides like drink? It's literally like rural Russia. Like, the only thing we do here in Russia is drink, drive motorcycle, and play cards. That's literally it, kinda. Only with the internet. Cause like it's all social connection based, and if you like don't have any sort of things like, you know, there's a problem is that people tend to just only show off their successes in life. That's literally what Instagram did to people, and it just like made this mental health crisis. And in general, like people became so pissed off about like the Instagram, like everyone's just showing off their successes, how rich they are, how much money they got on Christmas, how much toys they got on their birthday. It was like the same shit every time. And I think people got like tired of it. Gen Zers didn't want to like conform to that sort of thing. So either people went full private, because like people in where I go, like they tend to drown themselves in privacy. And you know, it's like, because if you just don't have anything desirable, or like don't have an attractive personality or attractive face or whatever, you're supposed to remain private until like the end of dawn. You know, it is kind of crazy when like you only have that one shot at life, that only one chance at life, and you're just supposed to go super private, and you're not supposed to take any photos. You're not supposed to have, like, you only take photos if there's an adventure, if you're climbing K2, if you're climbing Mount Everest, like, then you're supposed to take that photo. But like, people are so like you have to live for the now. You have to take photos every waking second of your life. You have to do everything by yourself, because don't wait for that moment to take that portrait, because like you will age like the seconds and stuff. Like yeah, blood points, blah 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 blah. Okay, the event is over. I actually did everything, and yeah. Like, the only thing that happens is that you get, like, yelled to death. It's like this stupid German society we still live in. And there's nothing we can really do about it, honestly. It's like, either you play the game or you get played, you know? Either you become, either you are the Germanic, Gamanevganich type fucking, I don't know, like some stupid 2,000-year-old cultural thing explaining exactly why you have to be this exact way, or else you'll get shamed to death. Yeah, but I'm so, like, I have no energy whatsoever. Like, this is so hot, you can't even think straight. I can barely even move. And, I'm going to take a blood test and whatever. Probably going to go on some vitamins too, like, it's like, holy, like, I'm so, I don't know. The only thing I do is, like, play guitar all the time. It's like, people like think I'm actually that, like, yeah, rock and roll Sweden, rock and rolling metal show, like that, like, sort of, like, I'm very, like, mentally disabled. Like, I know I have problems. Like, the thing about the music is tended to be, like, super cringe. It is, like, super cringe, when you, like, do music and stuff, and it's, like, completely perfected to a T. Because if it's not perfected to a T, and it's just made, like, super easy digestible with the bass track, with the drum tracks, and, like, that loud guitar solo, like that influencer Instagram Reels shorts, nobody will watch you, you know. It's like it's so easy for bands now to fake their own success and to pretend that they're a mini celebrity on Instagram. I find that so stupid. It's absolutely, you know, it is crazy. Nobody will watch you, you know. It's like it's so easy for bands not to fake. But, yeah, I said I would maybe go live. The reason why I've been going live is, like, I've been super busy. I'm wondering, will I get shamed to death if I don't do what they say, and, you know, because there's visitors over, and I did actually do a lot, but I played mostly guitar for today. It's like a literal heat wave. You can't just, like, live and do 1,000 things, like gardening and cut along the MON and stuff. It's like a heat wave. You'll literally get sunburned, like your face will turn red. Like the amount of people I saw at traffic today, their faces were just blood red. It was, like, insane. I wore, like, SPF 30, 50. I at least wore, like, every time I went out in the car. I wore some sunglasses. I put on a baseball cap. I don't care how I look, because nobody will take pictures of me anyways because of the European privacy rights. Anyways, nobody's allowed to take photos. Nobody can really mock you for really looking bad either. Like the problem is like nowadays like those kind of people that would laugh at you and sort of ridicule you, but they just don't exist anymore. Why do you have to get them really drunk, you know? Like there was this like there were like these Tommies type people, like, you know, like those local people that would like actually like critique anything that was like, they were like actually like the worst people ever, but like a couple of run-ins with the law and they'll like know their place usually. There's only one they were like super drunk and so when these people get in trouble, but like back in the day, like you were like shamed to death for not wearing like a dressing appropriately and whatever, you know. It's like what I'm trying to make with guitar is like, it's not really what I envision in my head, you know, because like when I see it in retrospect, I just tend to regret absolutely everything. It's just not well structured, and it's like, have you ever tried to put effort in? And it's just like there it doesn't feel like there's any fresh pages. What I'm trying to say is that like there isn't any like fresh feeling anymore. Like I could just like start recording the bass. Like it is kind of weird how, you know, because you just delve into this weird mentality. Because sometimes I'll just have full of energy to do something, and I do it, and I do too much of it. You know, I just like, I span it like multiple times to the point where people get really angry that I do a lot of these things. I wish I had I still wish I had that old job of mine. I wish I just would have kept doing that. Like, but the like the neurodivergent people, I read about it, and like the amount of people that is like, I will never be loved in a million years. I'll never have a proper love life. I'll never have friendships. I'll never have a girlfriend. And it's like the amount of people that go like that, and like and then you go to the media comments like, you're neurodivergent, please delete this video, there is no hope, and like what the fuck, you know? How is that supposed to motivate me? You know, it's like, it's actually crazy. Because this is like a really weird decade. I don't know how we can like ever, how are we ever going to translate this decade into something? Because it's already gone 5-6 years. Like it must be like mental health, like the decade of like mental health, like the 2020s. It must be that, like, people can't just ignore it and say it's just one-man cases only, because there's like genuinely been a really terrible crisis. Like it is this deafening silence, where like most people you see are just like, either they're sick, incapacitated, too old, or, you know, already, you know, deceased. Like the people you look upwards, you know, to. They're usually retired and just like living very quiet lives, and like either don't retire and they keep working and making great stuff. Like the people who were like made great things are either like retired or they're not with us anymore. I know that's kind of how my perspective is in the 2020s. Like a majority of people are retired. Millennials, Gen Zers trying to take spaces and workplaces that has been like desired for the past 20 years, but like people have like had their fists clenched, into these sort of spaces. And you see that with music. You see that with this decade, with like government jobs and like positioning. It's like most people would have never let go, like since the late 90s. They've clutched their fists. They just won't let it go ever. So like there's like this decade where you see that maybe the Gen Xers are in charge. Usually it's Gen Xers, but like millennials just want power, and Gen Zers, like late Gen Zers, also just like are power hungry. They want to have jobs that are positioning, like high position stakes job, because like we see like there's like a job crisis. Everyone's complaining about their jobs, and like boomers and Gen Xers should just keep saying that you're entitled and you should be grateful for even scraping enough of making peanuts. It is because we don't want to be doing the same work and making less for that's the weird thing I've seen this decade. Because like in most countries, besides where I come from, Scandinavia, their salaries and wages have gone lower, and their high cost of living has gone higher. So basically they can't afford anything that like was a normal life. Like you people tend to dream for the 2000s because it was actually that affordable. It might have been cringe as or whatever, but like time was good back then. Time was even good back in the early 2010s too. Yeah. Yeah, but got like Discord messages saying like you're just like you're like this guy, but you're just very neurodivergent. And I get their points. Blah, 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 blah. I really want like the professional cameras and the professional micings and like the high quality audio and effort, but I needed an outsider opinion and an editor or whatever. Like 100%. Dude, don't take him. Take I've been looking into acoustics, but like you can get scammed with so many acoustics now. And like acoustics are really the only instrument that it really matters, like the tone wood and all of the construction. But I also don't want like own a Gibson, because like I feel like I would actually piss off some people that I own a Martin, a Gibson, I can't play correctly. And like they'll like be these angry Gen Xers or boomers in the comments, someone take this guitar away, please sell your instrument. Like they'll literally be like that. I felt that like they'll guilt trip me into owning a Gibson. The worst killers are those who can smell blood in this fucking game. They genuinely are like the worst of the worst. Yeah. Cause he'll like do like wapam and like smack you, smack dab in the middle, just take you. I'm not sure if he's going to take me if he just grabs her. Can he smell blood at this point? For fuck's sake. Oh, you're not playing around, aren't you? Oh, it's actually friendly, I think. Maybe. Hashtag friendly. We're one generator away to winning. Entire fan. Yeah. Are you just gonna let me die? Or is he going to like do 180 and let me go? I want to keep recording shorts and videos, but I also want to get in shape. Like, I actually want to just like show up like 1 month later being like super skinny and shit like that. I really want that, but you know, in the heat, like, it should, like, the easiest way is to do is like start in October or whatever, but usually it's just, yeah. Now, you guys seen Brad Taste in Music? He fucking completely, he's so fucking gone. He's like, it looks like a future potential, you know. It doesn't look, it will not end pretty, I think. Unless it turns like his life around, but it's like, it's not Scandinavia, it's not like that. Maybe if we're really like, but like, he is completely, his eyes is bulging out. I don't know what is, he is, must be depressed, like, and stuff like that is just fucking depressing as shit when you get into it. And I don't know how you, like, I don't know. I don't have no words, honestly. I don't know if anything can get better from that. It's so hot and humid, it's crazy. Like, people who still expect you to work 100%, you know, in this sort of weather is actually genuinely fucking crazy. But yeah, it is so hot. I guess the reason why we have summer is because it's so hot that it's not even, you know, like, most people have like only like maybe a week at most officially, maybe 3 days or whatever. Because most people just work in the summer. Like, the people who actually have like summer break is like teachers and stuff. That's the reason why most people just go into being teachers, because they can just like slop sometimes and just, yeah. Because like, I've seen this the amount of Gen Z teachers that just like just want to quit and just like shift so many jobs. You know, they're never satisfied with one and they quit the other. I believe there's gonna be revolutions, and there's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be collapses, like system collapses are going to happen once millennials are in charge. Not for like that I hate him or anything, but like I don't know how people can like cause they were 30 back in 2016 and stuff. You know, the average 30-year-old back in 2016, like most of them, I just like have that sort of feeling that they were like eggy. You know, eggy. You know, if you know who that guy is. Like most people look completely fine when I refer to it. Like getting just 40 now. Yeah. Go away. I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be a friend. You were so fucking close. You'll try hard. Are you just gonna let me go, right? You alright? No. You're gonna hook me like a hooker, you know? Like, you're gonna hook me, you know, fuck. Oh, God damn it. Just let me go. You're not fucking cool, come on. Johnny be hook. And like, killers when they already kill people from when the gates are released are actually crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, bro. I feel like alcohol I shouldn't even talk about it. It's not a part of my life. I'm nerfing it. Hook, 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 hook. I got hooked. I'm so hooked. Hooked on you. Yeah. I'm so bored. It's actually crazy now. It's so fucking boring. I think that most people have just watched my videos to make fun of me, and like they just like clicked off because I actually just I think I didn't have that social anxiety where I just like deleted all my videos. I literally just did it because I didn't care anymore, and just privated my whole channel and just like want to dwell in privacy again. Because like honestly, what's the point? Try to shame people like that to quit their YouTube channel. If it was like a high profile social, like my last name that actually mattered in this county, like I had like a lot of like at least I knew like 20 of the new fucking, you know, new kids around the block, and I had like all these connections, you know, you had to get from me if you had to get from anybody else, like stuff like that, the middleman. But the amount of people that just moved in here and just claimed this place as their own, it genuinely saddens me. Because like the amount of people here just come here that, you know, from, oh my god, from the city and stuff, will just like they just don't actually have an interesting perspective. Like it tends like I guess you could just start with fresh pages, but it's just a weird way, like the gentrification of these places. They're like cleaned out, pressure washed, and refurbished, you know. And now people from, you know, 2 cities away can finally move in here and claim this place and just make it very standardized and boring. Like the culture here is completely dead from what it used to be. Like in a decade or two, this whole thing will just vanish. And it like it needs to be government sponsored and all this stuff in order for it to even work. And you know, but in my opinion, it needs to happen organically. Like if things doesn't happen organically, that's usually the the graveyard of all cultures, you know. Last time it's done organically. Not staged, you know. Like, if anything that gets too popular on YouTube, like a channel that never was supposed to surpass any of the popularity. I mean, Like if it was never supposed to be like more than 50,000 subscribers, and you know it just got 10 million, or even like up to a million, so like YouTube will intervene and sort of look into it after like it just makes a rush by Gen Zers, because they want to be they want to be the parents of the YouTube. It's like they want to be the parents of these people who watch this. It's been a kidification of YouTube lately. You're not almost allowed to even do anything. But yeah, it's like it's going to be basically, if it becomes too popular when it was originally supposed to attend, you get just banned. Your older content is just flagged as inappropriate and it gets banned even though it's relevant and it's fair discussion like people will just tend to delete anything. you know Dude, I searched up the stocks once and now I'm getting Amazon stocks. Are you joking me? Just let me die, let me die, let me die in this game. Kurt Cobain didn't play on junk. There's this whole fallacy that like Kurt played for only junk. This was probably in the Bleach era when he barely played on, like he maybe played on some of them, these songs, but they weren't as like, oh, it's still a harmony. Like these guitars were still very quality back then. Some of them were junk, some of them were not, but the amount of money these instruments go for today, the Cobain tax, but like some, like in the Bleach era, totally justified, but in Nirvana's Nevermind era, and in Euro era, he was just way too, he was professional with his instruments back then. There were no makeshift Mustangs or anything like that. He had like fucking professional Japanese ordered left-handed Fenders, and he smashed these guitars sometimes, but like only been after he blew up after Nevermind would he like had these pawn shop, weird guitars. Only before, But most people don't care about his music before. They care about the music, when they recorded it and were like super famous and stuff. Yeah. People just tend to forget, like, they watch these AI brain rot videos, instead of actually seeking the people who lived through that decade. They just rather listen to an AI. The 90s weren't that fucking, like, they weren't that special. It was more the 80s. that was the kind of the, if you get into the 80s grunge scene, yeah, most of it was super unprofessional and stuff like that. But when you get into the 1991 era, then you see an immediate change in the ways of people, doing things. Here's just the amount of brain rot, honestly. It's just so much misinformation. Like, unless you lived through like the 90s or like the 2000s, you have the sort of picture of what the mentality was back then. I don't think most people can talk for the decade. Even I can't talk for it. But it it has that like campfire perspective of like talking like fair story to campfire tales when people like just make up shit or exaggerate shit, because that's what people used to do back in the day with campfires, and like they used to like, this is how the Bible got written in passages and stories. Eventually it's just going to be a lot of made up stuff or very exaggerated or simplified stuff. Like the details get lost in conversation. We had that sort of game in Norway. We used to like do the what's it called? The whisper, the whispered game where people would whisper a sentence to someone and then over, to test each other's mental whatever, But it was just telling, like, this is mostly how people did stuff back in the day after decades, and, the different people, narcissists making up their own stories or whatever, There's just going to be a whole huge, or it's going to be the actual autists who actually do the documentations and, fix the bullshits, Because we wouldn't have this sort of stuff if it weren't for autists. Like, it's like saying, Silver Papyrus played for Sheep guitars all his life, and he became a rock legend. Like, it's like that, but, I wasn't I played for Gear for Music guitars, that was my first, single coil instruments, which I dealt with, and stuff like that, but I sold them eventually away and stuff, and like, imagine getting, remembered for the stuff and the instruments that you had as a teenager, before you really just had went through these like professional instruments or whatever. That, like I don't think I will ever give up on my Squires classic vibes. I don't think so. It has to basically be like a manager or whatever, like someone who does like PR or whatever. You can't be dealing with Squires. You have to get yourself vendors of those instruments, or we're not gonna, like, they're going to give me ultimatums eventually. It just happens, okay? Like, ultimatums happens to, there must be like these conversations that they're having, like giving people ultimatums of like, okay, look, you can't be using Fenders, you can't be using, etc, etc. Uh, People used to have the balls to say no to things. You know, when it came to like, because like with squires and stuff, like I don't know if this decade will be remembered for anything like grandiose or whatever, but I should change my camera angle. What the how? How did I do it? I'm so tired. I can't take it anymore. Okay. You see this thing? I'm going to... Yeah. I'm so tired, you know, with this game. I shouldn't really stream. I was stupid. I made to stream. I'm so tired. It's crazy. You know what? I think I'm going to bed. That's it. Bye.